What's up, dudes? I'm the Dominicator, and in this video, I'm going to hypnotize you to become a little boy. Shout out to Jeff for commissioning this video. Thanks, dude. Your support is appreciated. Alright, dudes. This video will regress your age all the way back to 8 years old when you were a little boy. This video is made for dudes, but anybody can watch it. So, if you're ready to get hypnotized to become a little boy, then just keep watching and listening to the sound of my voice. To begin, all that I want you to do is just look at the line pattern in front of you. And as you continue to look at it, as you continue to gaze at it, I just want you to relax and just listen to the sound of my voice and just relax, taking a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe in, you might feel the stresses and tensions inside of your body. And as you breathe out, just relax those stresses and tensions. And you might notice, after a while, as you continue to watch the line pattern in front of you as it shifts and changes into different mazes, that it seems to have an effect on your mind. And it seems to have a light and fuzzy kind of effect on your mind. And as you continue to gaze at it, and as you continue to watch it, and you'll find that it might even make you feel a little bit tired, and that it might relax your mind and cause it to drift off all by itself, but just keep your eyes open and continue watching that line pattern. And after a while, I'm going to snap my fingers and say the word sleep, and when I do, then your eyes are just going to snap down shut. They're just going to lock down shut all by themselves. It'll be just like an electric switch is flipped inside of your mind, inside of your brain. Those eyes are just going to close all by themselves, and you'll sink down into an even deeper state of relaxation that you're in now. But until then, just keep those eyes open and continue to look at the pattern in front of you and just relax. Relax and listen to the sound of my voice. And as you do, then you might find that it's such a relaxing sound. It's such a relaxing sensation that you feel a nice and wonderful, restful sensation from the sound of my voice that just seems to relax you. It's just as if there's a little bit of magnetism on the sound of my voice that goes right into your ears and right into your mind, sinks down all the way into your brain, all the way down to the very bottom, and just relaxes you. And you might find that the sound of my voice is so very warm and masculine and dominant that it just causes your thoughts to just melt away. And your thoughts just melt away and they drip and drop all the way down to the very bottom of your unconscious mind. Drop and drip down just like chocolate. And it just feels so good. And just to listen to the sound of my voice and my words and just to relax. And as you continue relaxing, just continue taking nice and deep and even breaths in. And as you breathe in, notice the stresses and tensions inside of your body. And as you breathe out, just allow those stresses and tensions to relax. You might notice some stresses and tensions in the stomach. Maybe butterflies in the stomach, or perhaps some tightness in the chest, or maybe in the shoulders and around the neck. But the more that you simply breathe in very deeply and breathe out, the more that those stresses and those tensions will just relax all by themselves. And you might even find that the sound of my voice has such a nice and heavy magnetic quality about it that it just seems to drag and pull down on your muscles. And in fact, you might even feel that each and every one of your muscle fibers is becoming heavier and heavier with each and every word that I say. Heavier and heavier with each and every word that I say as you drop down, as you go down to a nice and even more relaxed state of mind. And as those muscle fibers and as those muscles become heavier and heavier, you'll find that the mind becomes lighter and lighter, and that you feel a nice and fuzzy, warm feeling coming over the mind as it just begins to drift away all by itself. And you might even forget that I'm speaking to you at all, and that's just fine. That's just fine, because all that you need to do is just continue relaxing. All that you need to do is just continue to feel and sense what it is that I say, and just picture and imagine, visualize in your mind's eye what my words are describing, and you can forget about the words themselves. You can forget all about that. All that you need to do is just continue to listen. All that you need to do is just continue to relax. Just continue to go down even deeper and even further into that nice and wonderful, completely and totally relaxed state of mind. And right now, you can feel tension building up in the eyelids. You can feel a heaviness that's building up like a spring that's winding up inside of your eyelids. And you can feel, even now, that they just want to close down all by themselves. They just want to go down all by themselves. But I want you to try to keep them open. Just continue to keep them open. The more that you try to keep those eyes open, the more and more heavy they're going to feel. And the more and more sleepy and relaxed that they're going to feel. They just want to close down all by themselves. And very soon, I'm going to snap my fingers when I do. And those eyelids are just going to close down all by themselves. They're just going to shut down. It's going to feel as if an electric switch was just flipped inside of your brain, inside of your mind. That's just going to shut your mind down, take you down even deeper into a nice and wonderful, completely and totally relaxed state of mind. A state of mind in which all that you want to do is just listen to the sound of my voice and my words. And all that you want to do is just follow the sound of my voice and my words. It just feels so good to do so. It feels so good, and that's all that you want to do, is just listen to my voice. And all that you want to do is just follow it. The more that you listen to it, the more and more that you want to follow it. And the more that you follow it, the more and more that you will want to listen to it. And it just feels so good. It feels so good. That's exactly what you want to do. And you can feel that heaviness coming over the eyelids now. It's so very intense that it seems to be dragging them down. And they just want to close so much. They want to close so badly. And you feel that heaviness so much. It's just winding up like a spring. Very soon you're going to go all the way down into that relaxed and very sleepy state. Nice and relaxed and very sleepy state. And sleep. Sleep. Just go down. Just drop down. Just fall down into that wonderful state of mind, a state of mind in which all that you want to do is just listen to the sound of my voice. And as you do, you can feel wonderful waves of relaxation coming over you, and all of that stress and all of that tension in your body is just completely and totally dissolved, and in its place you can feel wonderful waves of pleasure just surging throughout and coursing throughout your entire body. It just feels so good just to listen to the sound of my voice and just go down, just drop down even further into this wonderful and completely and totally relaxed state of mind. And I want you to imagine, I want you to picture that you're right in front of a well. You're in an old-style well made of concrete blocks. And perhaps you might imagine that you're in a center of a small village. There are little wooden houses all around you. And such a nice and a quaint village. And there's a well in front of you. And you peer down into it, and you can see water there. And it just seems to go on forever and ever. Forever and ever. And that water in the well has such a nice and wonderful warm and silky texture to it. It's such a nice and silky texture that you just want to sink down into it and you just want to go down into it. It's a special kind of water that you can breathe underwater in it. In fact, you can breathe even more deeply and even more evenly than you could before. And so I want you to climb into that well. Climb into the well and feel the wonderful and luxurious and liquidy warm and silky sensation of the water as it begins to just curl around you and as it begins to envelop you completely. And as soon as you're in that water, you just begin to sink down into it. You just sink down into it, down even further until it comes all the way up past your head. And you just continue to sink down even further. And as you sink down, you can see yourself on the sides of the well, just as if there were a mirror in front of you, as if there were a mirror on all sides of this well. And as you sink down into it, and as you go down into it, and as you relax down into it, going even further and just sinking down, dropping down to the sound of my voice, then you will find as you look at yourself in the mirror, as you go down, it seems as if time is traveling backwards. And you can see yourself aging backwards. And as you sink down further, and as you go down deeper into it, then you see your skin begin to become softer and firmer. And as you sink down further, you see your face become more youthful. And you also begin to shrink down a little bit in size. Your height shrinks down, and your mass shrinks down. And you just shrink down even further. As you relax down in this nice and wonderful, completely and totally relaxed state of mind, and as you do begin to age backwards, then you'll find that all of the knowledge and all of the wisdom that you have gained over the years just seems to be melting away. It just seems to be flowing away. And as you regain all of your youth, and as you can picture yourself just aging backwards all the way down to 18 years old, then you can feel all of that knowledge just melting away, just drifting away. It's as if all of those little tiny pieces and bits of knowledge inside of your head are bubbling up out of your head, bubbling up even further into the water, all the way to the top of the well. And as they continue to bubble up and flow out of your head, you feel a wonderful and relaxing, mind-melting sensation as they do. It just feels so good just to feel that wonderful, mind-melting sensation as you age backwards, as you go down, all the way down to 18 years old. You can see exactly what it is that you look like at 18 years old, but you're going to begin aging back even further, just going down even deeper. And you feel so much pent-up and youthful energy inside of you, just at 18 years old, and you have that feeling of excitement of exactly what it's like to be an adult for the very first time. You feel all of that freedom as you age back even further. And so you go down even further, all the way back to 17 years old. Man, you can imagine exactly what it is that you look like at that age. And you might even remember what your voice sounds like at that age. You might remember what you were doing at that age, the very last few years of school that you had. And that anticipation and that desire, or maybe even the fear of turning into an adult and turning 18 years old. But you just sink down further and you go down even deeper down to 16 years old. And you might imagine exactly what it was like at 16, and you might feel your memories flooding back into you, coming back into you all at once. And you might even remember some things that you've forgotten for a long time. You might remember what your friends were like at that age, or the kinds of activities that you were doing. Perhaps you played games. And you might remember what your classes were like at that age, and the teachers that you had, and all the things that you did, and the enthusiasm that you had for life. But you just continue to drop down, sink down even further, all the way to 15. And you might imagine that your voice becomes higher pitched and squeakier as your vocal cords tighten, and you can even see yourself shrinking down in height and shrinking down in mass, and just becoming a smaller and younger version of yourself. And you might also remember the music that was playing that time, maybe the shows that you were watching, the television at the time. And as those memories flood back into you, it becomes so much easier to remember exactly what it is that you were like when you were a little boy. And so you keep aging backwards, you keep going backwards all the way down to 14. And you might remember exactly what it was like to enter high school for the first time, and all the excitement and the anticipation, and even the nervousness. Perhaps you can see your old classrooms in your mind's eye, and maybe you can picture your friends' houses and the places that you used to go when you were that age. And as you sink down even further, all the way down to 13 years old, you can see those images more clearly. You can see in your mind's eye so much more clearly and so much more crisply all of the memories that you had when you were a little boy, when you were a little kid. And you can see yourself shrinking down and going down, even further down and even faster as you go down all the way to 12 years old. Picture yourself now exactly how young it is that you look at just 12 years old. And you feel just like a kid again, and you can feel that enthusiasm, that energy from your childhood rushing back into you. And all the colors around you just seem brighter, and everything around you just seems to happen so much more slowly as you sink down even further. And you might remember your Christmases as a kid, or the holidays that passed, and all your friends and relatives and everything that you used to do in your fun time. How easy and how relaxing it was just to be a little boy. But you keep on going down even further and even faster, down to 11 years old. And you might remember the toys that you used to play with when you were just a little kid, just 11 years old. The kinds of things that you got for Christmas and for your birthday. And the fun kinds of experiences that you had on the schoolyard when you were just 11 years old. But keep going down even further down to 10. And you can remember exactly what it was like when you turned 10, when you became a big kid. And you might remember the freedoms that your parents granted you when you became a big kid. But you keep going down, sinking down even further, all the way to 9 years old. And you can feel your imagination just becoming bigger and brighter. And so you might remember the kinds of daydreams that you used to have, and the kinds of imaginations that you used to have, the imaginary characters, and the kinds of fantasies that you used to have as a kid. And as you go down all the way down to 8 years old, you can picture exactly what it is that you looked like as a little boy, and you can feel all of that youthful energy, and you just feel so very energetic, and you look around you and you can see all the bright colors that you couldn't see before, and you feel this wonderful feeling of anticipation about the world around you and about your future. And it just feels so good just to be a little kid. It just feels so good just to be a little boy. And now, very soon, I'm going to count you back up, and you're going to come back up to the top of the well, except as you rise up and as you come back up, you're going to come up as a little boy, as a little 8-year-old boy. And once you reach the top, then you're going to completely and totally wake up, but when you do, you're going to see the world through the eyes of your 8-year-old self, and everything around you is just going to be so much more colorful, so much more exciting, so much more wondrous than it was before. And you're going to stay a kid for just a little while. And as you begin to come out of that kid-like state, you'll begin accumulating all of the knowledge, all of the experience that you had before. And as you come out of that state of being a little boy, it's going to seem as if you're waking up all over again, and as if you're waking back up into your normal self. But right now, as you continue to listen to me, as you continue listening to the sound of my voice, you can't help but look up to me, as you can feel from the sound of my voice a warm and masculine and even dominant tone, and you know that I'm a very cool adult dude, and you can't help but look up to me, and you can't help but feel a feeling of wanting to be just like me whenever you grow up. And you know, and you realize that it's proper etiquette to thank your elders whenever they've done something for you. And so, whenever you come up, back up into the waking world as a little boy, then you're going to leave me a comment, and you're going to leave me a comment that says, "Thank you, Master Dominic, for hypnotizing me." You'll leave a comment that says, "Thank you, Master Dominic, for hypnotizing me." And once you do, then you're going to feel so good. You'll feel so good knowing that you've done exactly what it is that you were supposed to do as a little boy. And now, very soon, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. And as I do, you're going to float up out of that well. You're going to come back up into that waking state, and you're just going to feel so good and so very energetic to be just like a little boy, just like an 8-year-old little boy. Alright, now beginning with 1, as you begin coming up, and 2, floating up even faster and even further, and 3, coming up even more, and 4, almost there, and 5, eyes open and wide awake. Alright dudes, thanks for watching. Check out Dominicator.com to visit my t-shirt store, to commission a video, leave me a tip, or to schedule an appointment with me to get hypnotized. Catch you later dudes.